Orgo, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Sushmit, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Okay, Indranil sir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, okay, thank you. So let us start today's session.
You want me to start?
No, no, sir.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So today, okay, just wait 1 second. Just one. full screen হচ্ছে? Okay, good morning everyone. So today, one second. Okay, good morning everyone. So I am delighted to present before you today as a representative of our cyber club to address a topic that is increasingly crucial in our digitally connected world, that is safe internet day. As we gather here, it is increasingly crucial in our as we gather here, it is essential to recognize the importance of promoting a secure online environment for ourselves and our future generations as well. So, as a cyber club, at our cyber club, we are committed to fostering a safe digital space for everyone. So, our mission is to raise awareness about online safety, educate individuals about potential risks, and empower them with the knowledge and tools needed to navigate the internet securely. We firmly believe that by coming together as a community, we can create a positive and secure online experience for all. So, for today, we have a comprehensive agenda lined up to mark Safer Internet Day. Our activities include informative sessions, workshops, and discussions aimed at equipping with the skills and information necessary to navigate the digital landscape safely. We will cover topics such as password security, recognize online threats, social engineering, and responsible social media usage. And additionally, we have organized interactive sessions where you can share your own experiences through chat box or through mic. The agenda is designed to be engaging and informative, ensuring that each participant walks away with a heightened understanding of the importance of online safety. So, the first session will be on cyber awareness and its importance on your career. Then it will be followed by a session where we will discuss about social engineering, followed by a hands-on demonstration that how a social engineering attack is actually carried out, or how the mind of a attacker works. So then we will move on to the Q&A session as well. So today we have a special guest amongst us, Mr. Indranil Chatterjee. So he is an information technology and security veteran and an aggressive leader with almost 25 years of industry experience, of which 16 years were with the top Fortune 50 organizations. Indranil is having an extensive portfolio of overwhelming business process, risk and audit, infrastructure operations, cybersecurity, while prioritizing the customer and business objectives. In addition, he has a passion for the leading teams to surpass strategic goals while investing in their personal and professional growth. So these are the agenda for our day. So now I will request Mr. Indranil Chatterjee to start the session.
Okay. Thank you, Shashmit. Let me try to present my screen. Wait. Let me know when you can see my screen. Shashmit, you can see my screen?
Actually, it is stuck midway.
Uh, but I have shared. Let me reshare it in that case. Is it now?
Yes, yes, it is visible.
Great. So, good morning, all. Thanks for joining the session and thanks for inviting me, Brainware University, and such lovely words about me. So, myself, Indrajit Chatterjee, having a little experience about cybersecurity, just wanted to share so that everybody is aware, and we are on the path of digital economy, 5 trillion. So, we will be achieving that. So, cyber safety. Now, the heading of this presentation, I make it as protect the keys to your kingdom, which means your digital world, your cyber safety, which is very important. So over the next 45 minutes to 1 hour, we'll discuss about cyber security and some key challenges along with their potential solutions. I tried to make this session useful for all of you and give an overview of how the industry functions and current cybersecurity top rated threats, which will give you an idea how to deal with it. Request everyone to put on mute and type your questions on the group or chat box. I will try to answer that at the end of the session. To start with, I would say the concern over the scale and the impact post pandemic is growing to a scale of almost 500% in comparison to pre COVID days. Leading organizations, institutions to consider their response and the actions they need to take now to maintain their business by protecting the threats we have on the platter now. Some news about cyber exploits. So what you can see, some ransomware exploits is on the top of the chart for hacking and takes place in recent past. And if you read the Gartner's report, one of the top threats in the ecosystem is cybersecurity. Moving to the next slide. Here are some ransomware exploits, paper cuttings, which takes place again in the recent past, and just an understanding for all of you how it works. Before we deep dive into our session today, I just want to paint a picture of the threats we face on cybersecurity landscape. Unfortunately, fraud and identity theft are a growth industry. Just look at the statistics. Someone identity is stolen every 2-3 seconds, it talks about. The average loss per identity theft is approximately $5,000. So this is the statistics put in to deal with as a cybersecurity enthusiast and a student. As you can see from the slide, cybercrime are on the rise. The number of cyber incidents, the cost of mitigation, and the sophistication of cyber criminals are steadily increasing. One of the top risk factors is human error.
কি হয়েছে?
Excuse me, if you can put on mute.
Sorry for the interruption. Please go on with your session.
So,
Hello. Sorry for the interruption. I would like Mr. Ninoy Chatterjee to continue with the session now. Excuse me, sir. Actually, your mic is turned off.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So here are the list of cyber threats, the few common cyber threats. As an individual, as an organization, you may encounter these. These common threats can lead to fraud and or identity theft. In addition to loss of funds, let's take a closer look at each one of these. To start with, email account takeover. This is one of the more prevalent threats we see today, and these scams are becoming increasingly sophisticated and complicated, making it harder to recognize when your email account has been compromised. It is fairly common for emails to be hacked. Cyber criminals who gain access to an email account will often go through the entire inbox, outbox, and all folders to learn all they can about the individual and their accounts, and important details about the relationship between the individual and their financial advisor and the banker, as well as the typical pattern of behavior, including travel and other requests, etc. So they can better impersonate the victim and successfully request funds to be wired or transferred. There has been a big increase in the number of email accounts takeover scams targeting and impersonating investors and asking their advisor to issue funds to a third party or what seemingly appears to be a legitimate account. These scams often involve a sense of urgency and elaborate reasons why you cannot be contacted to verify the transaction, like attending a funeral or being an overseas business trip, etc. So these cyber criminals are very savvy and try to eliminate the opportunity for you and your service provider to verify the transaction. So you need to be aware about it. That's why I have written here, what is it, how it looks like, how does it happen, what is the impact, and how to defend against it. Moving to the next slide, it's about malware. Mostly, when you know in this slide, I'll find it easier to explain how these threats works by sharing an example or two um, about the history of malware. I mean, that will be helpful for all of you. So we call it virus. Approximately in the year 2000, I Love You virus came and launched. The unsuspecting malicious recipient clicks on the email attachment, spreading the virus to everyone in his contacts list and overwriting all his email files. Trojan horse. One of the most infamous malware ever launched was a Trojan horse called Zeus. It is recorded and stole login credential for thousands of large multinational corporations and banks. Malware worm. I'm just giving you the history how it was evaluated. In July 2015, a worm called CodeRaid attacked computers running Microsoft IIS web server and exploited buffer overflow problem in the operating system. It is infected the computer and began duplicating itself until it drained the system resources. Malware has come into the new age attacks on the computer systems, increasing rapidly, and the latest threat is ransomware. Now, you might have a question, what is ransomware? It is a form of malicious software that targets your computer, limiting access until you pay a ransom. In the last few years, hackers have actively resumed ransomware attacks. Simply put, hackers are hindering people from accessing their network and asking for huge payments to regain access. Hackers have managed to cripple the US government networks. Hackers have managed for last year, I think it is on December, no, last year, December 2022, uh, the, the All India Medical Science AIMS attack. They have gained some very privileged accesses to the systems. Now, if we move forward, you can see 70% of cyber attacks use a combination of phishing and hacking. Phishing attacks are often rely on blanket campaign in the hope of catching a few individuals. For instance, a phishing attack may send a million of emails out targeting the firm's account holders. The majority of people who are emailed won't have an account with the firm or the organization or the institution, so they will have immediately reject the email as fraudulent. However, a small percentage of recipients who do have an account may fall victim. The result can lead directly to an identity theft. An alternative scenario is called spear phishing, where an attacker focuses on a specific target. Spear phishing attacks involve a cyber criminal spending time learning the personal characteristics and behavior of a specific target or a victim in attempt to convince them to perform a specific action. So it's not an overnight job. They wait for it. They learn about you, and then they impersonate the attack. And as you can see on the slide, most cyber attacks use a combination of phishing and hacking. It used to be fairly easy to detect phishing scam due to poorly written messages, but the cyber criminals are becoming more sophisticated, and today most of these emails appears to be legitimate. In fact, 1 in 4 phishing scams ends in successfully attaining non-personal information about you. Credential replay. Here, human nature plays a role because cyber criminals know most of the people reuse the same login credentials on multiple accounts so they can remember. I mean, be your Twitter account, be your LinkedIn, be your Facebook, be your whatever bank account, whatever accounts you have, most of them use a very common password which they can remember for all of their accounts. And that is what is the basis of credential replay. If the cyber criminal is not stealing these credentials themselves, they can easily purchase bulk quantities of stolen login credentials from the dark web to run against firms or organizations' online accounts. This tendency to reuse the same password on multiple accounts plays perfectly into the hands of the criminals who only need to match just a few credentials to accounts to make it financially worthwhile. This type of attacks are very common in the financial service industry. Just to give you some examples, I may recall uh, there is an attack on Yahoo, 500 million accounts stolen, name, email, telephone numbers, birthdays, even security question and answers have been stolen. In Verizon, 1.5 million customer contract records stolen and offer for sale in the dark web. In with the it happens with LinkedIn in 2007 2016, I guess. 117 million account credentials, emails, and passwords stolen in the dark web. So this is what about credential replay. I'm moving to the next slide, which is about social engineering. Social engineering is an attack vector that relies heavily on human interaction, often involves manipulating people into breaking normal security procedures and best practices in order to gain the access to systems, networks, or physical locations for financial gain. Phishing. The tactics includes deceptive emails, websites, and text messages to steal information. The second one is spear phishing. Email is used to carry out targeted attacks against individuals or business. Baiting, an online phishing social engineering attack that promises the victim a reward. I'll give you an example. Or rather, I'll give the example a little later. I've got an SMS which I have converted into a picture in this presentation for you, which will come to know how a betting looks like. Uh, so I'll come to that betting example a little later because I've already put that into my slide. Malware, as I said, victims are tricked into believing that malware is installed on their computer, and if they pay, the malware will be removed. Pretexting. Pretexting is used falsely identified to trick victims to give enough information. Quid pro quo relies on exchange of information or service to convince the victim to act. Tailgating relies on human trust to give the criminal physical access to the building or area. Suppose you are going to your institute and try to log in, and your friend who is not having a good intention but a good relation with you uses your physical card to enter into the premises and try to plan an attack. So that is called tailgating. Then comes phishing. Urgent voicemails convince victims they need to act quickly to protect themselves from arrest or other risk. Water holing, an advanced social engineering attack that infects both a website and its visitors and with malware. The one common thread linking these social engineering attacks is the human element. Cyber criminals know that taking advantage of human emotions is the best way to steal. So you are getting a mail with a link where it is very juicy kind of thing is written, and you thought, let's go and check it. You just click it, and then the cyber criminal starts his activity. I mean, traditionally, the organization and companies focus on the technical aspect of cybersecurity, but now it is time to take a proper people-centric approach to the cybersecurity awareness. Some common examples of social engineering: a cyber criminal calls an investor pretending to be the IRS and insists that the money must be wired or the police will arrest the investor. So it is an amazing case where people generally intend to give the money to the person, and then it is immediately gone to the cyber criminal's account. I have other examples, but for the sake of time, I'm moving to the next slide here. Call forwarding. So call forwarding, it is a very interesting one. While the cell phone technology has made a huge difference in the way we communicate and the speed with which we can get and stay in touch, it also provides a lucrative channel for scammers and snoopers who use the technology to steal our money and our identity and even to track our movements and listen to our conversations. Scamming the phone company is no small feat, but cyber criminals are creative, patient, and smart. Remember our discussions during the social engineering? A cyber criminal may be uh, befriend someone they have learned works at the phone company. They patiently wait to establish a level of trust with that individual before they take action and enables them to take over client's phone number. Alternatively, they may be so charming, so so they will engage and seemingly trustworthy that as they pose to our client or they are able to convince a phone company employee to forward calls to the other number. Technological advancement have made some forms of telephone fraud more difficult, but use of cell phones by cyber criminals is still very common and requires our vigilance in detecting and averting their breaches. Spoofing. Spoofing is an attack when a malicious party impersonates another device or uses on a network in order to launch attack against network host. Still, data spread, malware, or bypass access control. Uh, Type of spoofing attacks, if I may recall correctly, email spoofing. Email spoofing is when an attacker sends mails with false sender address, which is typically part of a phishing scam. Then there are caller ID spoofing, GPS spoofing, website spoofing, IP spoofing, text message spoofing. So there are huge type of spoofing is there. For an example, at a quick glance, appears you received an email, appears to be from your close one, but upon close examination, you will find that one character in that mail is different than your known person. So spoof email can come from internal or external contacts. Often executives and other senior business leaders are spooked into thinking an email came into from colleague when in fact it is coming from a cyber criminal. I mean, just to give an example, last week I visit to one of the top bottling company of India. I just don't want to name it. So their CEO give me a call that the same situation happened with him. A mail came. He thought that it is from his is one of the business leaders to that CEO and he got hacked. And there are huge financial and brand implications. So I was asked to go and do a forensic investigation of the scenario. So spoofing is very important for this type of you need to stop this type of attack from the cyber criminal. The intent is to obtain non-public information or access to request disbursement of funds here. How cyber criminal use the stolen data? Let us look at it. So personal data stolen, society security numbers, copies of most current policies and procedures. So obviously your institution have some processes and policies defined. Follow that for protecting yourself and your institution both. Remind folks who are not attending to this meeting about the expected behaviors as I have discussed one or two slides back. The another set of myths: report suspicious mails immediately to your whosoever is the admin for your institution, and in applicable, please share or maintain a clean desk policy. It is very important. All your important data are on your desktop is not the right way. Please put it on the right folders, have it password protected. It is very important. Additional security practices as behaviors. So verification is very important. It is something which is not immediately important for you, but we call it zero trust. So it is related to the privilege access. The person is having a access to a system, see higher privilege access. We need to verify it. We need to think before we authorize, and we need to maintain the least privilege principle for it. Zero trust is a different topic. If I get an opportunity, next time I will discuss this in detail, which will help you when you will be joining the industry. Now, respond to a breach. How to respond to a breach? Immediately respond to do the SOC services. SOC is Security Operations Center. So whoever is the information security team for your institution, inform them, determine the extent and impact of the event, work with the leadership to contain the event. They will obviously in touch with legal counsel for additional steps, and they will take care about the possible failures. Points to remember: beware of suspicious behavior, look, listen for red flags, understand the organization policy and procedures to protect your institution and the information. Don't take shortcuts, adhere to the policies, report unauthorized transactions, regardless of whether it is successful or unsuccessful. As I said, do not open or download files from untrusted sources, and that's all. The single biggest essential threat that's there, I think it is cyber. So whatever we discussed so far, if you all follow the same, we as one team able to stop targeted attacks, optimize operational efficiency, and will ensure compliance and mitigate insider threats too. The world is very competitive. You will have failures along with success. Don't get your moral down. Only take learnings from your failures and move forward. Have faith on your belief and have belief on your abilities. Have your own goal, own target, and plan to achieve that. I wish you all a very happy and a successful career. Thank you. Any questions? I'm happy to answer it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much to Mr. Indranil Chatterjee for his uh, insightful presentation and his invaluable time. So, I would like to ask our students to share any of the questions they have in mind to sir. It might be a great learning opportunity for you.
PPT I will share with the with Argo, Mr. Argo, and he will share with you according to the policies you have.
So
Anything else?
sometimes it happen like call bombing or message bombing. Some anonymous messages are coming abruptly in our phone. So what are the primitive steps we should take at that moment?
You primarily have to disconnect and block those calls. Now the challenge is they have multiple numbers to fall back. So what I used to do, I put myself into DND by calling the operator and ask them to block the series for me, because I know this is going to happen again and again every day. But still, it is not fully cured. Every day I'm getting multiple such kind of phone calls, and I just have to be block them and disconnect them.
Okay, sir.
What is a firewall? I mean, that should you should know what is a firewall. You want me to define it for you?
Sir, actually, we have students from different backgrounds, actually, not just cyber science department. So I would
Okay.
like you to demonstrate that for them.
Uh, Firewall is a network security device. Sometimes it is a software uh, which controls incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules as we implement there. There are hardware firewalls, software firewalls. Currently, it is next generation firewalls. So the primary purpose of a firewall is to establish a security perimeter, preventing unauthorized access and protecting against cyber threats, controlling the flow of data. Am I answered your question? Or if you have further question on this, you may ask me. Thank you. What next? See, McAfee is a good antivirus or not. I cannot put my name with a brand. All antivirus are good. You may use according to your choice. I will not recommend any of the brands so far. What is a ransomware? I explained that in my slide, but if you want me to do that again, okay. So when your machine is basically hacked by it's basically a type of malicious software that encrypts the file in the computer or in the network, rendering them inaccessible, demands of payment, usually in cryptocurrency, in exchange for the decryption of their key. A ransomware attacks can have several consequences for individuals, for business and organizations, often resulting in data loss, financial harm, or operational disruptions. I'll give you an example from your life. Suppose you have a laptop and by 2 days you have all your data and sources, and after 2 days you have your final exam, and a hacker is performed a ransomware attack to your system and ask for some money, and without that you cannot complete your reading, because most of the our reading materials nowadays are digital, not on books. So you have to pay that. So that's why ransomware is important. Types of ransomware, I can say encrypting ransomware, locker ransomware, sometimes it is master boot record ransomware, etc. Impact, as I said, data loss, financial loss, operational disruption, reputational damage. So now you may ask, what is the prevention and mitigation? You should have a backup and recovery method, the awareness, patch and update your systems, use antivirus and anti-malware solutions. So that is what is malware is all about. I answered your question. Thank you. I've explained the main objective of cybersecurity to protect the crown jewels for an organization. The primary objective is to protect computers, networks, and data from unauthorized access or attacks, damages, or theft. There is a triad called CIA, which we call confidentiality, integrity, and availability. This is ensured by having a proper cybersecurity in place. Does it make sense? Thank you. Any more questions?
Sir, how proxy firewall works?
Sorry?
Sir, how proxy firewall works? Like, how does it works? How it's like a stop the some defective or unwanted traffics?
It requires a separate discussion. It is immediately, it's a lengthy discussion. I need to discuss, maybe I need to show that. So those tools are not in my laptops, so we may discuss in a further session. I have explained the firewall, and proxy firewall is you have implemented any proxy firewall so far? I need to know that first before I answer your question, because that is important.
No, sir. No,
So
sir. We just learn and we just know about the proxy firewall, but know the but doesn't know the deeply about like how deeply it works, how they block the traffics.
just let me give you a overview idea. It serves as a
Okay,
gateway
sir.
for user request, forwarding those requests to the destination and returning the responses to the users. The primary purpose of proxy firewall is to enhance security and control over network communication. There is some access control, there is some content filtering. The purpose is to ensure the hide internal networks, the SSL inspection, the logging and auditing should be enabled, the bandwidth management, which means there is a caching process. So there is a user authentication, there is an authorization. Proxy firewall can be deployed in various network architectures, including a forward proxies like client-side proxy, or maybe a reverse proxy, a server-side proxy. They play a crucial role in security networks by providing an additional layer of defense. Do I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Like they hide the user identities.
Yeah, obviously, proxy firewalls often support user authentication, requiring user to log in before accessing the internet. So this allows for user-specific policies and tracking of each of individual activity.
Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah. Oh, we download the cracked version of the software. Yes, of course, because this is not tested and no one guaranteeing for this software. So obviously there is a risk of having a cracked software. I I recommend to have the proper version because you will get support from the OEM for that in event of any attack or something happens. For cracked version, no one is going to be. Clickjacking is one of the methods of cybersecurity frauds. That's why I said only 5 or 7 I have here. There are multiple others which can be discussed. Maybe if they plan a separate session. But yes, clickjacking is one of them.
Okay, so if no one has any more questions, so we would like to move on with the next session of our program. And thank you so much to Mr. Indranil Chatterjee for his valuable time he has shared with our university and our students, and obviously our cyber club. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So right now we will next move on to the session where Mr. Chitrak De will demonstrate how a social engineering attack is carried out and what kind of social engineering attacks are there and all the phishing attacks. So we will talk about those things. So Mr. Chitrak De, please continue.
Shashmit, with your permission, may I drop? This is Indranil.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, friends. And
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much, sir.
students. Bye.
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me present my screen. Okay, so today we are gathered here on Safer Internet Day. Today is the Safer Internet Day, and nowadays I think 43% of Indians are internet users. So nowadays we all are well accustomed with internet. Using internet doesn't mean that we know the dangerous part of internet and all. Every day and every time, if any user is not careful about the danger, they can got scammed very easily. One of the technique of this kind of scam is social engineering. So specially I will start with the social engineering, and after that specifically I will discuss about a type of social engineering which is phishing. So at first start with what is social engineering. Social engineering is a form of manipulation used by attackers to deceive individuals or groups into revealing confidential information, providing access to systems, or performing actions that they may compromise security. And here, one thing is very common, that unlike all traditional hacking techniques that rely on the exploiting technical vulnerabilities, social engineering exploits human psychology at first. And it also attacks one thing more, that is the tendency to trust others. Now, I will discuss the types of social engineering attacks. First type is pretexting. Pretexting means creating a fabricated scenario to obtain information from a target. As an example, you can say, suppose you are a employee of a company and someone just called you and say that I am your co-worker and I need your password or username to do a project. Here he or she is pretending to be your co-worker and just taking the sensitive information. That's why it is calling pretexting. The second one is phishing. I know this word is very much common nowadays, because everywhere we can find, everywhere in every awareness blog, every awareness video, we can find this word phishing. What is phishing is? Phishing means sending malicious or deceptive emails or messages or links, trick recipients into clicking on a malicious link or downloading infected attachments or providing sensitive information. I think I don't need to give the examples, because nowadays we all are too much habituated with this kind of malicious links, because on an average we all get one or two SMS or emails per day claiming that we got a lottery, or have something to we have something to, you can say we won something, or we compete in any, or we compete in any competition and we won the first prize, like this. Their main motive is to clicking or got the click on their malicious link. So this type of attacks are called phishing. After that, it comes to baiting. Baiting means offering something like free to download or free to use in exchange of sensitive information. Suppose you are you are a you are an employee of a company, and someone just came to your company and said that I am distributing some free USBs, and without proper checking, you just connect that USB in your system, and by that your system affected by the malware or any malicious software, any viruses, it could be anything. So this kind of case is baiting. Now it's time for the fourth one. It's quizzes and surveys. Now, when we are surfing any particular website, there we can find many quizzes and surveys. What happened? Now, creating fake quizzes or surveys to trick individuals into revealing their personal information. We can commonly get this kind of quizzes over the internet in many websites. This kind of quiz can or surveys can take your sensitive information very easily if you are not careful. Fifth one is impersonation. Impersonation means uh, pretending to be someone else, such as colleague, executive, or technical support representative. Sometimes you can get a call that I am calling from this IT team, and they will ask for your user and password. So these kind of attacks, this kind of cheating techniques are called impersonation. Now, scareware. Scareware is using fear or intimidation to trick individuals into taking a specific action. It can happen nowadays. Many of us use pirated website to download a movie, right? When you are accessing this kind of pirated website, you will find some pop-ups claiming that your system is affected by this virus. If you want to get rid of this kind of virus, click on that. Click on this link, and there will be a link, and it must be a malicious one. Okay, so this kind of pop-ups, this kind of ads are scareware. They just try to scare you. They just try to scare you, and in this way they got a link. They got a click on the link. Okay. After that, it comes to authority exploitation. Authority exploitation means leveraging a position of authority or trust to manipulate individuals into providing information or complying with request. What happens here? Actually, if your coworker told you to share your admin username and password, it can vary. You can obey the request. You can give your user and password, and if you don't want to share, you can. But if anyone pretend as your manager or boss, and after that they claim the password and username, you have to give your or share your password with them. This is called authority exploitation. And the last one is reverse social engineering. Reverse social engineering means manipulating the target into initiating contact or revealing information without the attacker directly approaching them. Example, an attacker can create a situation where the target feels compelled to reach out the attacker, allowing the attacker to gather information. A hacker will create a such scenario where you have to contact the hacker, or you have to give the user credentials to the hacker. This is called reverse social engineering. So as I told you, today I will just give some introduction of phishing attacks, and we will know how actually this phishing attacks works, and what to do to and how to be aware of this kind of phishing attacks, and what to do when this kind of attack scenario occurs. Okay. The first thing is, what is phishing? Phishing is the act of attempting to acquire information such as username, password, and credit card details as a trustworthy entity in an electronic communication. Cybercriminals can do this by installing malicious software on your computer, or tricking you into giving them sensitive information, or clearly stealing personal information of your computer. Phishing emails may contain links to websites that are infected with malware. If you are a antivirus user, in that case you will get a pop-up that this website is malicious or infected. And if you don't have any kind of antivirus, in that case you will not get a warning, and easily they can teach you. Now, types of phishing. Phishing can be, you can find phishing in many types. The first one is link manipulation. Most methods of phishing use some form of deception designed to make a link in an email appear to belong to the spoofed organization or person. Misspelled URLs or the use of subdomains are common tricks used by the phishers. When someone is giving you a URL, you need to check the URL very keenly, because sometimes there can happen there are some misspelled URLs, and this kind of misspelled URLs are malicious one. Now the second one is spear phishing. We all know what is phishing. Now we will understand what is spear phishing. Phishing attempts directed at specific individuals or companies have been termed spear phishing. Attackers may gather personal information about their targets to increase their probability of success. This technique is most useful on the internet today, accounting for 91% of attacks. That's why spear phishing is the most deadliest phishing attacks. Now the clone phishing, a type of phishing attack, a type of phishing attack whereby a legitimate and previously delivered email containing an attachment or link has had its content and recipient address taken and used to create an almost identical or cloned email. Suppose you got a email from any company and you got the same email for the next time at the same address, but this time attacker just changed the attachment, and unknowingly you clicked on the attachment, and attacker get your access, the system of your the access, and he get the system also. This is called clone phishing. Voice phishing is there too. Voice phishing is the criminal practice of using social engineering over the telephone system to gain access to personal and financial information from the public for the purpose of financial reward. Now, causes of phishing. Misleading emails. Misleading emails can cause phishing. No check of source address. When we are getting any URL from anyone, we have to check the source address at first. Third one is vulnerability in browsers. Yes, browsers can also contain many kinds of vulnerabilities, and as a result of this kind of vulnerabilities, you can find phishing. You can find phishing attacks. Limited use of digital signatures. Yes, if there is no digital signatures, you will not you will not get anything to track those or to take care about these phishing attacks. Non-availability of source desktop tools. This is also a problem, or this is also a cause of phishing attacks. Lack of user awareness. This is the this is also a very important point here, because nowadays among all the internet users, a large portion of users are not truly aware about the phishing or this kind of malicious attacks. The last one is vulnerability in applications. Application also contains some vulnerabilities, and by exploiting this kind of vulnerabilities, phishing can happen. Here I have some examples of phishing, and I provide also the screenshots. And this is a screenshot of a email, and there you can find I have mentioned, and I mentioned some numbers over here, 1 2 3 4 5. And when you are getting this kind of emails, the first thing you need to check from where that email is coming, that means the address. After that, you should check the to and the CC. If it is a mass email, in case of mass email, attacker every time hide the CC portion. Okay. And the fourth part and the fifth part. In fifth part, number 5, you will get link here option. And when you run your mouse over or space or click that mouse on that particular source, you will come to the attacker's website. In my case, in my case I just showed something over here. It is not a malicious website at all. Okay, it's just an example. Now it is also a screenshot of a bank, and you can get some phishing emails claiming them as a bank, and also there will be a link, and never click on that. You also can get this kind of email on account of or claiming some e-commerce website. So when you are getting this, you have to check the address and you have to check the URL also. Now, the tips to protect yourself from phishing emails. How to protect yourself from phishing? The first thing we need to keep in our mind that IT will never ask you for password or email. If you are facing this kind of, if you are facing this kind of, if you are facing this kind of calls or emails, don't think about it. And same, and as per the rule, bank accounts or bank uh, a, a, a member or a bank employee will never ask you for the bank accounts, your passwords and all. The second thing is never enter private or personal information into a pop-up window. If there is a link in email, use your mouse to hover over that link to see if it is sending you to where it claims to be. This can save many phishing attempts. Look for the HTTPS sign. This is a very important one. Whenever you are checking any URL, just go for the HTTPS, S for secure, HTTPS 1. Okay. And when you are facing any website, check the website carefully, and if you find any grammatical mistakes or spelling mistakes over there, then there is a 99% chance that website is a fake website or malicious website. Sign of phishing phone call. Previously, I have told you about the voice phishing, and this is a part of a voice phishing. And if and how you can categorize or how you come to know about that this phone call is a phishing call. That over the call you will come to know, and the attacker will told you or tell you that uh, he is saying something about a offer or maybe a product or maybe a cash price or any other valuable price, or it can be a foreign lottery. If you are getting this kind of terms, there is a 90% chance of it is a phishing call. How to protect yourself from phishing phone calls? This is also same like the emails. You don't need to buy anything from unfamiliar company. You don't need to entertain any call regarding this. And if you follow these steps over internet, then only you can be safe nowadays. Now, as conclusion, I can say no single technology will completely stop phishing. However, a combination of good organization and practice, proper application of current technologies and improvements in security technology has the potential to decrease or reduce the chances of phishing and the losses. That's it.
Okay, so thank you to Chitrak sir for his very insightful presentation. So now I'd like to ask Mr. Sampad Banerjee to demonstrate the actual implementation of how a attacker actually creates the phishing links and how they share this and what's actually in their mind. It will be shown by Mr. Sampad Banerjee. So I will ask him. Please continue the session.
Okay, so hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. So now I'm going to show you that how basically a phishing attack works. But before I start, I'd like to tell that it was a very insightful presentation from both Indranil sir and Chitrak sir. It was really informative, and I hope all the students learned a lot about from it. Okay. So I was talking to Chitrak sir earlier that why should we actually focus on just the phishing portion of the whole like web application security. So why like the only for the thing we can focus on is that is phishing in the whole internet safety thing. So the thing is the you can always implement a tougher WAF like web application firewall. You can use the most updated softwares. You can use the most nicely securely built web applications. But still, your web application or your server or your network can get hacked by only the process of phishing. Phishing is the only procedure, that is the only process that doesn't requires any sort of technical knowledge or not like that advanced amount of technical knowledge. What it requires is the ability to fool the human brain. Like if we can acknowledge it, I'll be happy to acknowledge it, that in the whole cybersecurity chain, human brain is the weakest link. The WAF can rarely be fooled. The like secure coding practices can rarely be fooled, but the human brain is very susceptible to trust, can be fooled easily. So that's why that's the exact portion the hacker relies upon. They attack the human's trust. And so that way their whole thing is known as social engineering. Social engineering is nothing but the science of hacking the human brain, how you can manipulate, how you can exploit not the systems but the human brain, so that the human brain can like accept the websites or the links you have built to be actually legitimate. So with that, I'll basically share my screen and start the demonstration so that everyone gets to see that how the hacker performs the phishing attacks. Okay, is my screen visible right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the victim PC, and I have written the blatant victim machine over here, so that's very easy to recognize. And this is the infamous Kali machine. This is where generally the hackers operate upon. There are variations, obviously, like there are variations like Black Arch or maybe the Paratos, or maybe sometimes they prefer using the plain old Debian and customizing it for cybersecurity purposes. But like the tools, the things which are inside the Kali is what's actually make Kali Linux. The Kali Linux is basically a distro which enables us to perform cybersecurity tasks or hacking tasks fluently. It's a distro basically made for the hackers, red team professionals, and cybersecurity experts. Okay, so the things I've opened here are known as terminals. Terminals are basically command line interpreter. It lets you interact with the operating system. It lets you use commands to interact with the operating system instead of clicking on different things. So this is a terminal, and if you have seen like hacking movies and some sorts of things, you'll know this very well. This looks very cool. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so with this, let's get started.
Sampath sir, please zoom it so that
Okay, I'll zoom it. Okay, is this visible now clearly?
we can see it now.
Okay. So over here, I'll start with SE Toolkit. So what is SE Toolkit? SE Toolkit's full form is Social Engineering Toolkit. So it's basically a collection of different type of tools. It's a suite of tools, and it lets you do a lot of things. And the things which are very important are using some pre-made templates in the SE Toolkit, and also we can use website cloning. So I'll start, and you'll understand it better if I show this to you. So this is the first menu, and as we're trying to do social engineering attacks, we'll focus on that. After this, there are a bunch of options, and over there we are basically, our objective right now is to use some pre-made templates that are present in the social engineering toolkit. So over here we'll just select number 2 and hit enter. And again, we have the bunch of options, and the thing we generally focus upon, either any attacker or hacker focuses upon, is the harvestation of the credentials. So the credentials are basically your username and passwords which you are supplying to the website which you are using. Those are credentials, and harvesting something means to pull those things out from those websites. So in theory, whenever you open those websites, whenever you give those credentials, your username and passwords, then and there, those username and passwords will be redirected to the attacker's machine. Okay, so over here, we'll hit on 3 and enter. So as we were saying earlier, that we are going to focus on the templates right now and move on to the site cloning later. So the first is web template, and let's see which templates they are providing us. So over here, they are saying that which is the post-backed IP address, like the informations we are supplying to the website, those information, those credentials goes to the web server in the post options. So over here, so the post back things, which are the like basically the credentials, will come to the which IP address. So obviously we'll give our default IP address, the attacker's IP address. So this is the default one. So we'll just click on enter. So over here, there are 3 options. There are 3 templates. One is a Java required template. The next is a Google template, and third is a Twitter template. So let's see how the Google template looks like, how legitimate or believable it looks like. So it's very intuitive, as you see, like it's already has started that template in our port 80. So if things goes right, the IP address of the Kali machine, if we open it on any other machine, we'll be able to see the Google's login page or something like that. So let's see. So let's suppose that this is a victim machine, and over here the victim has opened the browser, and the IP address of this is 192.168.150 and 128. So over here, Chitrak sir will like to clarify a bit about IP addresses, so that it will be helpful to all of you to understand and follow through the whole tutorial.
Okay, then normally when you are using a website, especially you can use some URLs. But in our case, as we are demonstrating this whole attacks in our virtual lab, that's why we are using a private IP address. Generally, there is one thing called DNS, which make the conversion to IP address to domain names. So when you are searching any particular website, DNS is there to convert that website's name to its particular IP address. Clear?
Okay, thank you, Chitrak sir, for the clarification. Okay, so as we have the
Hello,
IP
please, sir.
addresses,
Hello, sir.
yes,
Sir, can you please explain the DNS?
okay,
Okay, keep your question and we will answer it after this demo session. Okay, after completing
Okay,
this
sir.
okay.
Okay, sir.
okay. So let's resume the tutorial. Okay, so over here, the port 80 of our IP address, the template website has started running, and theoretically, any sort of post request that gets provided to the website will redirect to this IP address, and technically, we should see the username and password provided over there. So let's head over to the Windows victim machine and give the IP address of 192.168, 150, and 128. Over here, you can see that we have absolutely legitimate looking Google's sign in page. Over here, the email and password is getting asked from us. And there is no way we can actually understand that this is a fake website. If we just skip on the URL portion, if we don't see the portion over there, this website looks exactly legitimate, looks exactly similar to the actual Google sign-in page. So over here, let's give a email address of victim@maybe gmail.com, and in the password, let's give victim@123. Okay, and let's hit on sign in. So you see that we have redirected to the actual google.com search page. And over here, if we see our Kali machine, we should have username and password. And over here, you can see that we have the victim@gmail.com, which is the email address, and for surely the password, which is victim@123. So now we see that this is this much intuitive, this much convenient it is to build a phishing website using a pre-made template. The next will show you that how attackers create custom website, how they clone custom website, so that they don't have to rely upon the pre-made templates of AC Toolkit. So at first, let's close the whole thing. Okay, let's open AC Toolkit again. Let's head over to the website type vectors. And now we have site cloner. So let's move on there. Okay. So for the cloning of the site, we're going to clone our Brainware's own student portal. So because we have students over from different departments over here, so they need to be cautious about their web portals as well, so that whenever the website they're opening their like students self-service portal, they don't get misdirected to a phishing link. So let's see how it works and how we can identify it as well. Okay, so now they're asking for a URL to clone. Let's head over to the student portal. So as we are all familiar, this is our student self-service portal, and this is our URL link, and we'll just copy this link. and paste it over here and hit enter. Okay, so now you see that this site has been cloned successfully, and again the port number 80 has been started, and this site has been hosted over there. So let's move on to that 192.168 link again. And as we can see that we have the exact replica, exact legitimate replica of the students login, student self-service portal. So this is how we clone the website. This is how attackers clone the website and fool you and misdirect you, so that you give your credentials in this wrong page. So I'll give the credentials over here. Let's give like simply student code of example and password of maybe password, and hit on login. As soon as we do this, we see that we have redirected to the actual link of the Brainware's student self-service portal. So if things goes right again, you can see, yes, the student code is example and the password is password. So again, we have cloned the website successfully, and we can see that this is how intuitively the hackers gain your like username and password from the phishing links. Okay, so the next thing I'll show you is that how attackers also host these links over the web. So they need basically they need a hosting service to web host their phishing links. So for that, they use a very efficient tool known as Zfisher. Using Zfisher, they have an access to a lot of templates, and they basically can web host those phishing links through the Cloudflare's web hosting methods. So let's see how it's done and how they do this, so that you can identify that which are the phishing links created by the Zfisher. Okay. So let's start Zfisher. Let's close this. Okay. So in Zfisher, you can see that we have a lot more options than the AC Toolkit one. We have a lot more templates. So we have from Facebook to Steam to Twitch to Yahoo and GitHub and Xbox. We have a huge array of different templates. So let's go over to the Facebook one, as it's the most common type of phishing attacks which are being performed. So let's head over to Facebook. Under Facebook, we even have 4 different kinds of options. We have the traditional login page, we have the voting poll login page, we have a fake security login page, and we have a Facebook Messenger login page as well. So let's not go into the complexities. We just want to see how the traditional login page works. Okay. So let's go to the 01, which is the traditional login page. And they're asking for a port forwarding service. Okay, so in the port forwarding service, there are 3 options. First is localhost, because that is where we can host it if we don't want to web host our URL or our phishing page. And there are 2 options to web host our link. First is local expose, which is not completely workable always. Second one, which is the Cloudflare one. This one actually works, and this one works very well. Okay, so let's choose the Cloudflare option, and we don't want to use a custom port. And in the 8080 port number, we have launched our website, and the process is trying to web host this link using the Cloudflare. Now we don't want to change the mask URL. It will take some time. It will make you the Cloudflare link, which can be web hosted. And now we have a Cloudflare link, which can be web hosted and can be accessed through anywhere over any parts of the world. Okay, so let's copy it and paste it over here. Let's close these tabs and paste it over here and hit enter. Okay, so as we can see, this looks the flawless looking Facebook's login page. It looks absolutely legitimate. And like even from this title bar and everything looks absolutely legitimate and replicated from the actual Facebook's login page. So let's give an email address over here, maybe like victim at the rate, like suppose yahoo.com, and a password of password at the rate 123, and hit login. And it has redirected you to the Facebook's forgotten passwords page. So it might not even look suspicious to you as well, because you may think that you have entered a wrong password or you have forgotten your password, and that's why you have been redirected to this screen. So you won't be suspicious of any activities you have done. But in the Linux terminal, in the Zfish's terminal, you can see that we have the account, which is victim@yahoo.com, and absolutely the password, which is password at @123. And this is how attackers perform phishing, and they basically target you so that it looks completely exactly legitimate and fool you from the credentials which you have and damage you. And I like, if you some questions, you can ask right now, and I'll be happy to answer all of them.
Sampal sir, I want to request you to show your screen again, especially the URL tab.
Okay, so I'll show you the URL so that you can understand how different it looks from the actual URL.
Yes.
Okay, so let's head over to the Facebook's login page, which I've shown earlier. So this URL looks like this, and the actual Facebook's login page looks like this. So the difference in the URL is very blatant. If you can see, like this one does not have any portion of Facebook written over here. And even if it does, it will always have this trycloudflare.com, this portion. So this is how we can understand if we are dealing with any sort of phishing links or not. If it's an actual website, it will just look like this. It will have an HTTPS portion. It will have the name of the website over here, and it will look just like this. It won't have any sort of extra informations, just like this one. And this is how you can understand and determine which is a phishing link and which is not. So if I'll suggest you, I'll give you an advice that if you are trying to open a login page of any bank or any social media website, it's better if you just search it over through Google. The first or second result you get through the Google is basically the 90% chance it's not a phishing link, it's an actual legitimate link, and you can always go and use your work from over there. Try not to click on any links given from any email or any sort of messages or WhatsApps. Always try to navigate to the login page through Google, like specifically. Okay, anyone, any questions? Okay, thank you for that. Head on to Sushmit sir. He will conclude this whole seminar, and I hope that you have learned from this demonstration. Okay, so Sushmit sir.
Yes, sir. Please explain the DNS and the firewalls.
Yes, DNS basically stands for Domain Name System. Now, uh, I'm giving an example in a very easy manner. Okay, is it easy for you to remember a phone number or the name? Which one?
Obviously, name, sir.
Name. The same thing is applicable for the website. Is it easy to remember a IP address or a website name? Which one?
Website name, sir.
Website name. So, computer cannot understand anything which is human readable, like alphabets and all. Computer only knows 0 and 1, right? So we need something in the middle which can translate this human readable form to binaries or IP addresses, right? DNS helps us there. DNS is a system which can translate any domain name, that means a human readable form, to corresponding IP addresses. Just like our phone book, just like our phone book in our mobile phones. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And now the firewall. Firewall is a device where or in which we can set rules. Rules like it can be rules to filter some packets, rules to block some websites. We can set rules to filter out some particular packets. It can be different kinds of rules. And according to this kind of rules, firewall will do its work. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, anyone else do have any other questions? You can ask Sampath sir or Chitrak sir. Okay, so let me share my screen one more time. One second. Is it visible to everyone? Okay. So now coming back to the initial part where we have left our session earlier. So Safe Internet Day is a global initiative that is originated to raise awareness about the responsible and secure use of online technologies. So it serves as a reminder for individuals, organizations, and communities to unite in creating a safer digital environment. So the day encourages open conversations about internet safety, cyber threats, and the importance of adopting best practices when engaging in online activities. So cyber crimes encompass a broad range of illegal activities, as all of them discussed previously. So from digital space
Sir,
to
I have one more doubt.
okay, just let me finish and we'll get back to you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So these crimes are not only jeopardize our personal information and financial security, so but also pose a significant threat to our national and global security. So the first step toward combating cyber crimes is probably awareness, right? So it is crucial for individuals, businesses, or any other governments to understand the risks of associated that are associated with digital landscapes. So one of the primary threats we face nowadays is probably identity theft, and then online fraud that Chitrak sir and Sampath sir showed you actually. And furthermore, on a broader scale, I think governments must work collaboratively to establish or enforce stringent cybersecurity regulations. International cooperation is crucial also to track down and prosecute cyber criminals who often operate across borders. Additionally, investing in cybersecurity infrastructure actually it will contribute to building a more resilient digital ecosystem, right? So today's observation is not just about acknowledging the potential risks of the internet, but also about celebrating the countless opportunities and benefits it brings to our lives, right? So it's a call to action for everyone to contribute to a safer online world. So in conclusion, as we celebrate Safe Internet Day, let us all pledge to be responsible digital citizens. Let's actively engage in promoting and practicing online safety, not just today, but every day in our life. So together we can make a significant impact on creating a secure and positive digital future. So thank you for your attention, and let's make Safer Internet Day a collective effort towards